Hey now, it's me, Bradley G, here in Minneapolis, Minnesota, the World Nerve Center headquarters of Chaos. Remember Maxwell Smart and that organization called Chaos? That was a good show. I kind of miss those old black and white TV shows. Speaking of black and white, let's go to this old fogey right here. He's been around the block. Oh, you're wearing red today.
I don't know. Today was the red day.
It looks good on you. Those are my colors, black and red.
Okay, so we're black and white, black and red.
Super. How you doing today?
Great. Let's jump into this thing about how we position ourselves in the minds of our customers, because there's a lot to talk about. And so I thought you picked a perfect title for this because it involves two things. And one is positioning in their minds, and then how they perceive us. So I want to talk about marketing a little bit and branding, but all of this is a strategy. It's not just going out and getting a website. It's not just going out and running an ad or sending out. There's nothing you do as much as the way you position yourself first in your own mind.
Right.
How do you perceive yourself? Because that's where our biggest challenge is we really don't know how to position ourselves, because we don't understand how the potential customer is perceiving us.
Sure.
And so how we present ourselves, what it is that we say and do that convinces them that I'm the guy they want, I'm the guy that they need. So that's part of it's a combination of branding and marketing and positioning.
Let's say hello to a couple of our friends that popped in here.
Good morning, Al. Yes.
Good morning, Al and John.
Yes. Hey, John. Hey, I love that Halloween jacket you got. You got the pumpkins all over the jacket.
It's a random thing. Yeah, because you mentioned an interesting thing that you and I had in common, that you tried to be that suave debonair magician. I did the same thing. I was wearing a fedora and I thought I'd do this cool thing, and that ain't me. And I think a person perceives that kind of stuff, but getting inside of the head of the person that's getting the contact information, you need to know what they want,
yeah,
rather than what you think they want.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly right. So marketing is basically how we approach a client, and we need to know how they want to be sold. And that's one of the problems that we have sometimes is we don't know how to approach a potential client, because we've not really figured out the best way to approach them. And so that has a lot to do with positioning yourself. So it's just like getting out, you want to get out. If you want to get hit by a car, you go out in the middle of the highway, where all the traffic is, so you figure out how is it that I can position myself to get the most traffic to my services and to let people know who I am. And, one of those things is showcasing. You can, I think I'd mentioned before that when I was living in Indiana, the activity directors for the senior centers had a one-day conference. They'd get together and they'd share their ideas. And then they had a showcase for talents like me and other entertainers come in and do a little bit. And boy, I got a lot of bookings from that.
I can imagine.
We don't have that here in Florida, at least not that I'm aware of, not yet.
I think a couple people should get together and start it.
And of course, there's an idea. Start your own. Do your own. Create. Invite some other people who are catering to. And so getting people to come out and to make themselves present.
That was the way that I got my corporate business. I created my own trade show, which was a lot more work than I think a showcase would be. But you could do a little variety show, and you're in control of it.
Well, that's the next thing I was going to bring up. Trade shows or expos, senior expos. There's one coming up right now here in where I live, and so I'm going to make myself available and see if they'll allow me to go in and do a little magic.
That's one of the rare exceptions where you could donate your services just to get on the stage, because you know that the right people are coming.
Yeah, I'm not going to bring in the big show. I'm just going to come in and make an appearance, and let me correct something. I'm not just going to pass out business cards, because that's not the way to do it, in my opinion.
No,
The
sure.
postcard thing is much better because it has a QR code on it that takes them to the website, takes them to a video, and I think that those are critical tools to have to market yourself. That's part of your branding. You have to have something for them to see, and for them to give them an idea exactly what it is that you are giving them. So
Going back to that positioning yourself, you said if you want to get hit by a car, you stand in the freeway. That makes sense because that's where the cars are. Now, if you're trying to get booked by senior centers, a trade show is probably a good place to be, but are the senior center planners attending that trade show?
right. Well, that's why I'm saying the senior expo. I've done several of them in the past, and those are predominantly for seniors. And then,
Well, that's what I'm saying. They're for seniors, but are they for senior event planners? They're for seniors, yes. But are those shows for senior event planners? Whereas a senior entertainment showcase, you're in control of inviting those people to come and see the showcase.
Right. Yeah. Good point. So the most important thing is, no matter what we do, if we don't have a strategy, a way that we can actually think and verbalize about how we're approaching our clients, potential clients, then we're missing the boat. I remember years ago taking a lot of training, and I spent a lot of money in training, thousands of dollars in training. And that's the one thing that's stuck in my head, is to create a strategy. And this position marketing concept has been a strategy of mine. In fact, I even created a workbook and a video about that for magicians.
I saw some of that.
Yeah.
I saw some of that. You shared some of that.
So, basically what it comes down to is, when they think of entertainment, who do they think of? Do they think of you? Do they think that you're, I got to call, Steve Hart, the magician. He was so good last time. Or I call him because we've never had him before, and I'm curious to see, what he can do for us. At the same time, I'm hoping that my marketing material and my branding will tell them what it is I'm going to do for them. So I'm very particular about the words I use, and I'm working on describing more and more about what I bring to my show for the residents at a senior center or whatever, for senior audiences. And you have to ask yourself, what is it that the seniors really want? Where's their focus? Because you have to understand, a lot of them are not happy about what's happening. Growing old is not easy. And so they're looking for something to identify with, something to be able to release some frustration and to find joy. And most of them identify with their memories more than anything else. So that's why sometimes a story in your show is very helpful.
Well, coming from it, the person that's going to be writing the check is the event coordinator. What makes their life easier too? And I think if there's a lot of seniors that are in there that are happy and upbeat, and they remembered all that wonderful entertainment, that's going to make the planner's life a lot easier.
Definitely so. Definitely so. That's true. Making it easy for them to do business with you is true, and not. And also, that's another reason why I bring in a very simple show. It's just that my catalog case with my magic tricks, a stool, and that's basically it. I don't really bring in a lot of large props because I don't need them. I used to think that I needed them, but it's what I do with the audience. The way I
Probably more the music. Our friend John said something here too about the music. The music and the magic is a refreshing change. And then we got a question.
I'm sorry, I didn't get what he said. What did he say? Well, let's read Nick. All right.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Find
top
of mind.
And the top of mind entertainment choices are music.
Yeah.
Magic is a refreshing change.
Yeah. Now, some guys use music in their shows. I currently do not use music.
And if you use some of that nostalgic stuff that they can relate with.
Yes. Yeah, definitely so. Yeah.
But I was going to say here that Nick Roberts was asking about these experience with these do-it-yourself websites. What are the do-it-yourself websites?
Brad and I we talked about that last week among ourselves about how to put together a website. And Brad and I agreed that you really don't need a website as much as you need a landing page. Now, what's a landing page? A landing page is a way for people to go to find out information about you, but you collect their email. So you're going to collect an email list is what's going to happen. And we're going to get into more about that later, about how to do that. I have a landing page on one of my websites, which I'm collecting.
Oftentimes people will put together a website that has all sorts of information. It's overwhelmed and people don't know where to go. But they got what they used to call a squeeze page, where there's only one option to do, and that would be fill out that form and inquire for more information. So a good squeeze page would be a automatic playing video that shows how much fun that their group is going to have. And you put in your name and email to learn more. That takes them a different place, but it captures that information.
Right. That's right. That's right. And that's what I have. You call it a squeeze page. I call it a landing page. It's a page where I have some video, and I'm saying, here, if you want to know more, then sign up, and then I'll put you on the list. And then I send out e-newsletters, is what I do on a regular basis. In fact, I'm getting ready to send them out.
To stay in touch with them, sure.
Yeah.
Our friend John.
So let's try to answer Nick's question.
Okay.
Is there a simple way to build a website? Yes, there are. The question is, what are you going to put on it?
But he was asking about these do-it-yourself websites, and I'm not sure what he's referring to there. Is it like
he means you don't have to pay someone else to build it for you. I'm almost sure that's what he means.
Okay, well, that's stuff. Nick, if you could rephrase your question, if that's what you mean, because there's Wix, which is a website builder. There's WordPress, that's a website builder. There's
you say that, Brad, you have to explain to them that what it means is all the tools are on the website to build the website on their website to build your website. So they have, that's what they call click and drop and paste and drop in. It's very easy to do that. That's what, instead of having to pay, like I paid a webmaster to build my site for me. It cost me several $100s.
You can easily go down the website abyss, and there's so many different ways of doing it, expansions to it, and complexity. And he says like Wix, GoDaddy. They're just website builders, in my opinion. And here's one of the problems, though, is if you've got just the free version of it, it ends up putting a little banner on there, and that's a distraction, which all of a sudden someone clicks on the thing and they takes them off to build a web page, and they go, I was looking to hire a magician for our senior center, and now I'm off building a website. Oh, you got to be careful for that.
Back to the landing page, the squeeze page. I think that's the most important thing right now is to collect their information, to get them. So you have to have something on the page to hook them to want to know more about you. They have to be convinced that you got what they're looking for. And if that's the case, then you ask them for their information. And then you follow up with that, in fact, if you get their phone number, you can text them information. It seems like today, more and more people are wanting to communicate with me, not through emails, but through texting.
Is that when they're cold, or is that once they're warmed up and they're inquiring, or both?
Say it again.
Do they send texts when they're new and fresh and cold leads, just inquiring, or are they texting you when they know you already?
Both. It's amazing. I'm not a texter. In fact, I've been struggling to figure out how to best text and send people information about who I am, along with photographs and video of what I have to offer through texting. And that's not something I've been familiar with. It's been a challenge, but I'm doing it. I'm persistent, and I am doing it. And like I said, of course, here's what I do is I ask for a deposit, and to get a deposit, I have to have their email address. So that's how I hook them into giving me their email address, and I follow up.
Here we've got somebody that's a Facebook user. By the way, the people that it says Facebook user, that's because you didn't accept the StreamYard thing so that we can see your Facebook
Yeah,
profile name.
I don't know who this is, but he's saying 80% of his bookings are through text.
Yeah, it is going that way because the nice thing about texting your phone is you can block that stuff so it never comes through anymore. That's why people like it.
Blocking potential customers.
But that's why people like the texting.
Oh, yeah, they can block you if you start spamming them. Yeah, right. That's true.
Because emails are scraping, and it's happening with text too. I mean, I'm starting to get all sorts of texts from loans and all this stuff that are coming through.
Well, I'll tell you, we're learning this stuff. We're figuring this out, and we want to take everybody with us, and we want to make it easier for you. So,
to summarize some of this stuff, I like to keep things simple. To me, that there's basically 3 steps to everything that's happening here, and I use a gardening analogy: plant the seed, nurture the plant, and harvest the fruit. So when you plant the seed, if you're planting tomatoes and you put a carrot seed in the garden, you're not going to get tomatoes.
Right.
So if you're looking for senior center event planners, you better be planting those seeds. Otherwise, you're not going to get any business.
Right.
And then the other process, when you mentioned the strategy, I use a thing I call GOSPA, which stands for goal, objective, strategy, plan, and action. And goals and objectives are different. Objective is more vague. A goal is specifically defined. So, and then you got to get into the strategy of it before you start planning and taking action on stuff. What is your strategy? How are you going to go about doing all this stuff? And we all know it takes more than one impression. So maybe you've got to showcase at that senior center, create your own little showcase for entertainment, do a postcard mailing, do a Facebook page, and it's a whole bunch of stuff that eventually that senior center event planner goes, who is this Steve Hart guy? I see him everywhere. Then they'll inquire.
Yeah. So back, my strategy is the basic things I mentioned is positioning myself and then the branding, and if, when I use that with the techniques that I'm applying, how to contact them and how to communicate with them, then that's it. I'm booked. I mean, I got 6 shows this week. I can't believe it. Of course, it's Halloween. I understand that, but the point is I'm at an age now where I really don't need that many shows. It wears me out.
Well, you do good on your case. It says Steve Hart on there, so you're branding yourself that way. There's a local guy here. His name's John Hughes, but he goes by the name of Hondo. Yes. And whenever I'm out doing some stuff and someone says, "Hey, do you know Hondo?" He's branded. Yeah, he definitely is branded here. Everybody knows who he is.
And I might throw something else in here. The big thick black glasses I wear when I perform. That's part of my branding. That is those glasses have no and the top hat, but those glasses have no lenses in them. I just wear them to look funny, and it's become part of my branding. So, and I got that idea from Phil Silver. So, if you remember Sergeant Bilko, he wore the glasses. He didn't have to have the glasses as part of his character.
Well, that's definitely a thing. I remember years ago there was this big convention I used to go to, and there was this one woman that always wore a flower in her hair.
Yeah.
And you see that ocean of people, and there she is.
Right.
Yeah.
And the other thing I do visually is the polka dots. I wear polka dot ties. I just got a new one today. So I'm. The point but that's part of the visual stuff. The real branding is what I'm doing for the customers, what I'm giving them, so they know they can always expect for the residents to be happy, laughing with joy, and filled with anticipation of seeing my program if they've seen me before. And so
I just saw something like that reminded me of you. I can't remember the company, so they didn't do a real good job at it. But no, it was somebody was talking about McDonald's, and McDonald's doesn't sell food. It's not a gourmet restaurant. They're in the real estate business, and what they sell is happiness. They got the Happy Meal, they got the clown, they got their fun and games and the ball crawl and all that. He said that they're selling happiness, and that's one of the things that's pursued by most people is the pursuit of happiness. People want to be happy.
So that's really a major part of my branding. It's not just the outward of what I look like, but also the what I'm actually giving them, and I'm focusing more and more on that, and I'll be talking more about that as we continue our marketing for seniors.
So in all this stuff, we go on for 20 minutes here, but if anybody would comment on the bottom of here of other topics you'd like us to cover, or maybe more specific things in marketing, if we want to talk more about branding, or if you want us to talk about, like, my background is event marketing. It's creating an event to get your ideal client in the room so you can offer them services.
And we also want to say to our members, we're welcoming anybody else who wants to come on and the podcast as a guest. We've had Nick Roberts and Steve Holt, and I've already spoken to Jim Austin about coming on. So, but if you want to come on and have something to share, we're glad to have you join us.
And actually, it doesn't necessarily have to be Monday. I mean, I've got a lot of free time, and if you want to do a special one on something that you can offer, I'm open to that. Certainly.
In fact, speaking of that, next Monday, I'll not be here because I have a series of shows on Monday, and so
Gary Lee asks, "How long is the show?" It's about 20 minutes, so we're about to close it down, Gary. But
talking about your magic show.
Oh, how long is my show or this show? My show's about 20 minutes.
Talking about how long was our show when we perform a show. Our podcast show is, like you just said, about 20 minutes. I have come to full conclusion that 35 to 40 minutes is probably the average attention span for most people. Once they've seen that much, if you've given them a good show, they've got what they want, But most activity directors want you to do an hour, So sometimes I'll fill that in with storytelling, and I'm not just making up a story. It's my story about myself, and maybe some balloon twisting or whatever, anything to interact with them.
Yeah, you can almost be your own warm-up act. Come on and tell a little story and stuff and warm them up, get a quick establish rapport, and then do the show, and then do a Q&A or something after or something.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, we got Al. Al wants to know more about event planning. I'd love to talk to you about that. It's a thing I've been doing for a long, long time. Al is 45, is it right?
Al's right. Yeah.
Okay, well, speaking of which, we don't want to bore these guys too much.
Right.
Oh, here it is. This is Steve Holt. Wasn't sure how to get to opt in so I could see me. Good stuff today. By the way, I use MailChimp. Yes, we do too.
Yeah, I use MailChimp too. That's who I used when on my landing page, that squeeze page that you were talking about. And they put their email in there, it goes to MailChimp, and that's where my list is. So,
there's another good example.
Weber, that's what you mentioned too.
Huh?
You mentioned Aweber as also a place to collect emails.
Yeah, there's a plethora of them. Aweber, definitely.
Right. Right now, I'm using MailChimp and for the free version of it.
See, that's a good way of starting with the cold leads. If you want to do your email marketing and your text stuff, you could create a form in MailChimp, and that's basically your mini website. And we got comments coming in here. I do about 100 shows at senior centers a year. I have 3 distinct shows I offer: a regular show, a Halloween themed show, and a Christmas themed show. I reach out directly if they don't call me first. So he's more aggressive or assertive.
John, we got to get you on here to do the podcast with us. So, let us know if you can do that with us. All you need is a way to do video and with microphone and the camera. And then Brad sets it up and sends you the invite. Boom, there you are.
Pretty easy.
We want to hear from you, John, about what you're doing.
Okay, buddy. I'm going to put you in the green room. You and I can sit and chat and have some digital M&Ms.
We'll do.
Okay, thank you. There you go, our friend Steve Hart, the man, the myth, the legend. So I'm going to sign this off. Appreciate you guys tuning in. If you have any questions or anything, or just trying to help people out so they can get that business. Take care. Be well. Be kind. Be nice. I accentuate. Be nice.